Hello and welcome back again. And if this is your first time here, my name is Mindy and I'm going to be cooking from my tiny kitchen that is located deep in the countryside of Oregon. And today I'm going to be preparing a Thanksgiving feast for you. And I will be pointing out that I don't have a traditional kitchen to cook these things. And so I'm going to be using my tiny appliances. So one of the appliances are this induction cooker. I'm not using my toaster, but I have a toaster, a microwave, and a toaster oven. I haven't had this for very long, and I did go out and purchase a thermometer for it because these toasters ovens tend to not be very accurate, and I did find that out on this day. So setting it to bake, setting it for 375, and it's ready to go. Isn't it cute? One of my renewed obsessions is Pyrex. I've been collecting a bunch. Isn't it gorgeous? Okay, we need a Pyrex dish today. This one isn't Pyrex, it's Corningware, but I still love it. I had it when I was living in the house. Okay, so we're going to use this one to cook the turkey in. So in the box, there's gravy and a turkey loaf. We're not going to use the gravy because I'm going to be making my own. So I have peeled a sweet potato and carrots, and to them I'm adding olive oil. These instructions are on the box. Adding a little bit of salt and cracked pepper. And that part is ready. Next step, stir all that together, get them nice and basted with the olive oil. And then you just pop that turkey loaf, or I should say tofurkey loaf on top, covering it lightly with tin foil and popping it into the toaster oven. When you are first using these tiny appliances, there is a learning curve, so you are going to have to experiment and watch the food closely because it does not cook like expected. So the other appliance I'm going to be using is a butane burner because I can only load 1800 watts at a time into that surge protector. So to stay safe, I'm going to use my butane stove. So next up, we're going to make cranberry sauce. It's very simple, a couple bags of cranberries, a cinnamon stick, clove, and star anise, and a whole orange, the peels of it, and the juice of it. So just peeling up that orange, zesting it, I guess we call it, if it's in the culinary world. So zesting it up, and then I'm going to be using an actual thumb of ginger. Look at that, it's like the size of my thumb. And I'm going to peel it with a spoon. It's super easy to peel this way. Get it all peeled up. And then using a microplaner. I use this every day. I use it for nutmeg. I use it for truffle mushrooms, ginger, and citrus. Next, I'm going to wash up 2 bags of cranberries. This is 14 ounces altogether. I'm just looking for bad ones and picking them out, but there were none. I'm going to put them in a saucepan. Add all my goodies, cinnamon stick, star anise, cloves, ginger, orange zest. And then the next I'm going to add is the juice of the orange. It was super hard to get the juice out of this one. So if you don't get like a cup of orange juice from the orange, you want to add the rest in water. Turning on my butane stove and getting that bubbling. This is going to be good. So to it, I'm adding monk fruit sugar. I'm kind of also watching the kind of sugars I'm putting in my diet. It's just kind of helping me out a bit. And this one tastes just like regular sugar and it cooks with it as well. Try it sometime. Bit of salt and we're set. Now let's talk safety. I am cooking with a butane stove inside my house. I have a carbon monoxide detector. I have the window wide open for ventilation, so we're all good. Okay, back to the cranberry sauce. We're just looking for that bubble and the pop. Don't stick your face in there, you'll burn it. Next up, it's time to crush those cranberries. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can use an immersion blender. You can put this in the blender, a mixer. I like mine chunky. That's just how I like it. You might not like yours that way, so do you, boo. And then now that part's ready, I'm just going to put it off to the side and let it cool, and then I'll get back to it a little bit later. It's looking good. It smells like Thanksgiving in my house too. Oh, okay. It is now time to make the gravy. Now I know there is a gravy pack that comes with the tofurkey loaf, but I love this gravy. And spoiler alert, it comes out green, which is like unusual. So people think it's pesto, but it's not. And everyone that tries it just loves it. So it's very savory. You can use it for all kinds of things. But again, I'm being very strategic with the foods that I'm eating to get enough of the right foods into my diet and help with anti-inflammatory as well as high protein and just all the goodness. So getting some garlic ready here. I am preparing up half a bulb. I used this on one of my last episodes too. I love this garlic press. It just makes such light, quick work of processing up garlic. Okay, adding that to the pan, and then we are going to start to cook the onions and garlics first until they're opaque. Let's check on that roast. It's looking good. Time to flip it over. Okay, now I am chopping up some oyster mushrooms, and then I'll be chopping up some creminis. And just rough chopping them. I'm sauteing them. You don't have to be precise. Those onions are looking opaque. It's about time to put those mushrooms in. And we're going to cook those up. Now I'm getting those cremini mushrooms ready. You can use any kind of mushrooms that you like. If you don't like mushrooms, don't use them. But they are really what give the gravy flavor. Then to the gravy, I'm adding fresh rosemary from the garden and thyme. My thyme plant tapped out for the year. They don't really do very well inside in pots. I might try one again, but I had to buy fresh thyme from the market. And you can buy it in these packages too. They sell it at all the fine grocery stores. So just mincing up the garlic and the thyme and adding that to the mushrooms. Next up is the kale. I normally get dinosaur kale, but they didn't have it, so I'm just using regular kale. Taking off those stems, I'll feed them to my chickens. And then just rough chopping the kale and adding that to the pan too. You do want to cook this down, or it's like wax paper in your food. It's really hard to chew on it. I mean, I guess we're blending this, so it would blend. But I just like it when kale is sauteed. A good saute on your kale. Be patient with the kale. Isn't it crazy how much it shrinks? It's kind of like spinach in the way that it shrinks. All right, now it's time to get it into the Vitamix. So we're just going to put it in there. Now we're adding Better Than Bouillon, the veggie kind. That's what makes a dish vegan. Following the instructions, except I add more because I like lots of savory, saucy flavor in my gravy. Adding that to the sauteed mushrooms and kale and zipping it up in the blender. Just zipping it up until it's the right consistency. Nice and smooth. Now to this, I'm adding nutritional yeast. This what really helps thicken it and also give it the gravy flavor. It's also high in B vitamins and minerals, so it's a good thing to add to your food. I like to use it in place of Parmesan cheese. So back to those cranberries, they're pretty much done for me. I am just going to smash them down with a spoon a little bit more here, just to kind of get it blended. But it's pretty much done. That's one of my new Pyrex dishes. It's the Crazy Daisies. So we're going to put this in that Pyrex bowl and set it aside. So I cleaned the pot, and next up we're going to do smashed potatoes. Put some water in the pot with a little bit of salt and chopping the potatoes up sort of evenly sized into the water, and then get that boiling. Super simple. There's the cranberry sauce, the gravy. This is coming along. And the tofurkey. I did flip it over because it was moist on the side that was facing down to the veggies. It has been in for about an hour now, and it looks like it's going to be a little bit longer. But we'll go ahead and make these potatoes. It's probably a good time to check on the temperature here. It's 140. I believe they said it needs to be 160, so we're still waiting for that. So now we're going to make up the Brussels sprouts and the broccoli. And you guys are going to love this. I think it's just super cute, and it's just funny. It's just a funny little way to cook them. So I am peeling off the not so pleasant looking leaves and the dry ends. Next up, I'm going to process up this broccoli to cook it as well. And I try to keep the pieces of the broccoli fairly similar in size so that they all cook at the same time, because the broccoli and the Brussels sprouts are going to be cooked together in my Dash mini egg maker. Yes, this is a hard-boiled egg maker. I saw this from another YouTuber and I was so surprised that you can actually steam your vegetables with it. So let's try it out. So just arranging the veggies on here. I found this became like a game of veggie Jenga. You have to be, just balance them ever so slightly and carefully. And that's about as high as I think I can stack them. Let's just see if we can get this lid on here. Tucking them in, tucking them in. I might have to take a few out. I might not be able to. Oh, no, it fits. Amazing. Okay. Now we just turn it on. And that amount of water is the perfect amount of water to steam these. And when it's done, it'll sound a buzzer and we're ready to go. Okay, it looks like the potatoes are almost ready. We just have to get the fork in them. Oh, nope, still too stiff. Well, we've got the veggies steaming. Potatoes are still boiling. We'll just get that lid back on them and let them continue finishing to cook. That cranberry sauce is setting up. And that other side of the turkey loaf is browning nicely. Okay, the buzzer's gone off on the veggies and mashing the potatoes. And the only thing I'm adding to them to make them creamy is the water they were cooking in. I reserved about a cup of water. And I use as much as it takes to make them creamy. The tofurkey did take, I think, almost 2 hours to cook in the toaster oven, but I was cooking it from frozen. They did have an option to defrost it, but I did it from frozen. So here it is, all cooked, all together, ready to serve up. Let's get some of that gravy on everything. I know it looks weird having green gravy, but I promise you it's so delicious, super good for you. Great way to get those veggies back into your body. Okay, now the taste test. The moment we've all been waiting for, the taste test. All right. Tofurkey. It's really moist. Oh yeah, and the stuffing inside of it's really good. Mashed potatoes, made only with the water from them and the potatoes. No butter, no cream. They're really creamy all by themselves. Cranberry sauce. This is just exploding with flavor. Well, I really hope you enjoyed today's episode on cooking Thanksgiving in my tiny kitchen on my tiny appliances. Well, this was a success. It turned out really well. You don't have to do a traditional Thanksgiving. You can be vegan for a Thanksgiving or vegetarian. I'm not vegan or vegetarian, but I do like to dabble with different diets and things and different dishes just to see how they are and if I would like them. And it's also part of how I'm healing my body. That's going to be a wrap for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this cooking vlog as much as I enjoyed cooking it. And now I'm going to eat the rest of it. So from my table to yours, happy Thanksgiving and a healthy new year. Bye. If you haven't already, please touch that subscription button, hit the thumbs up, and join the Ninth Element community. I'm Mindy. I'm obsessed with Honda Elements. This is Tank the Toaster, and Tank has been lifted, and Tank has had new wheels and tires put on him, and he has a tent on top, and I'm adding solar and electronics and a camper to that one. and I'll be traveling from Tank, from my tiny home. So much love from me to you.